the gaming industry is chaotic right now, especially when it comes to Microsoft versus Sony and this whole FTC case. So much stuff is being leaked and coming out, and the one thing that's for sure about the gaming industry right now is that nothing's for sure. Now, this is one of the latest things coming out that actually got my attention. Sony's expected to release a PS5 Slim later this year, priced at $399.99, Microsoft says. Right, so Microsoft says. I have some thoughts about this because if this is happening, I don't know honestly how I feel about it. For one, I feel that this console generation, the next gen console generation, has been struggling quite a bit coming out of the pandemic that just finished, even though it was really, I'm not going to get there. I'm not going to get into that whole debate because then it's going to start a whole can of worms. But let's just say this pandemic, now that it's officially done, the console generation, the movie and TV industry, everybody's trying to get back, trying to get on their equal footing. And with this whole situation, Microsoft accidentally, unintentionally, let it slip that Sony's working on a PlayStation 5 Slim set to release later this year. Now, it's not surprising, okay, considering that the base PS5 console launched 3 years ago already. It doesn't even feel like it. Literally, it feels like we've all been Thanos snapped, and now we're in 2023, and it's like, holy smokes. But the question I had to ask is, do we really need another hardware revision for this next-gen consoles? I don't think so. I'm entirely not convinced that we need it at all, actually. There's not enough reasons why we would need one. Whether it's the game lineup, let's be honest here, whether it's the technical advancements that we would get for a upgrade, whether it's financial incentives, there's just not enough here to justify me getting an upgrade. Now, I don't know about you guys. You might be Sony ponies or whatever. You might be all gung-ho. You might want a smaller PS5 because, let's be honest, the base console that came out is pretty gargantuan. It's like, what, like this fucking big? Barely fits on the shelf. Sony's going to try to sway us, though. They're going to want us to get a PS5 Slim. But let's not be fooled. Let's take a look at brass tacks and everything right here. Right now, according to a document that was obtained by IGN, which is the article that I showed at the beginning, real quick, a little snippet of the title. The rumored PS5 Slim is expected to hit the market at $399.99, which is, what, like the same price as the digital edition with no disc drive? It's the same price as that. So if you wanted the digital edition PS5, it's the same exact amount of money that this Slim's going to have. So this leaves us wondering, are they going to phase out the digital edition? Is it going to become discontinued and we're not going to have that anymore? And the Slim Vision's going to come with even more features to justify the price? Because if all the only major difference is that it's a slimmer version, is it really worth paying the $399.99 for it? I don't know. Now, there are some rumors of patents that are floating out there, like the thought of a removable disk drive. I know I covered that previously on the channel. SSDs and other modular capabilities that will kind of go beyond the norm for what the PS5 console has already had. So maybe Sony's finally ready to, I guess, step it up a notch when it comes to hardware technical advancements. I honestly don't see that, though. And they're keeping their lips sealed when it comes to stuff like this. And to begin with, we got to take this whole PS5 Slim thing with a grain of salt. This has popped up in my live streams every once in a while where people are talking about it. And to me, it just feels like it's a little too soon. You still can't even see PS5s regularly in stores at this moment. So why would they introduce a new console variation? I have no clue. I think we have to take a step back and really evaluate what the PS5 has achieved since its release and whether or not a mid-console generation successor is really necessary, honestly. At the moment, again, I'm not entirely convinced. You look at the exclusive offerings for the games, and it's quite limited, to be completely honest. There really hasn't been much done either with these PS5 exclusives to really tap into the hardware capabilities of the PS5. Man, isn't this weird? I'm talking about video games and not something woke, right? Hashtag gaming back on Game Channel. I don't know. Anyways, we got what? Final Fantasy 16 that just came out, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, God of War Ragnarok, just to name a handful, Returnal. I don't know. These unique experiences, they're few and far between, it feels like. And I honestly, it feels like almost every single game that's come out is both on PS4 and PS5 at this moment. So what's the main purpose of this console? Is it to play backwards compatible games? If that's the case, then why get an upgrade at this moment? I don't think there's enough incentive, even if you had viral marketing that tries to convince us otherwise, that the next gen's here and it's going to have 4K, 120 hertz, FPS and blah, 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 whatever techno babble that you're going to have with it. I think the PS5 is bulky. Like I said, it's a huge beast, but I kind of like that it's huge. That's not what she said. I've gotten used to the size of it. I've made arrangements and stuff like that. Maybe it's kind of grown on to me a little bit. I don't know. I would have to have a very distinct, different size. To give me incentive to be like, you know what, let's trade it. And then on top of that, like I said, it has to give me some more upgrades rather than just that. That's why I didn't get the Switch OLED. I felt like the OLED screen just wasn't enough for the Nintendo Switch. I think also with the PS5, we have custom faceplates and accessories and stuff that have already been made for the last 3 years. I feel that if all that changes for a smaller machine, it's just going to, I guess, make a lot of consumers feel like they're just going out and being greedy. And let's be honest, Sony is a corporation. They need to make money. It's business at the end of the day. But they still haven't even gotten their shit together with the PS5 base model. So going and moving on and getting and creating new accessories and stuff just seems like they're just trying to milk it like a new type of hype for a PS5. Now, I don't know. Maybe they found a more cost-effective way and more efficient way to produce a console, and this will allow us to have more options out there. Maybe we'll see PS5 Slims a lot more common than we would see a base PS5 model. Who knows? Supply shortages may have eased just a little bit enough to where a Slim would be a lot easier to make. But I don't know. Is this corporate greed? The thought that this would even be happening? I kind of feel like it is, and I have nothing against the PS5. I like it. I really enjoy it. I play on it all the times, but many consumers haven't even had a chance to get their hands on a PS5 for Christmas the last 3 years or for a birthday. It's been a struggle, honestly, and now we're having to consider new models. I think it just feels a little out of touch, to be honest, in my opinion. I think console revisions in the past were necessary because the industry was different. It wasn't so digital focused. It wasn't so service based like with Game Pass or with PlayStation Plus Essential. And I don't know. I think Microsoft is also kind of guilty about it, but at the same time, they continue to support the Series X, the Xbox One, and the Xbox One X, and there's different memory options. Even with the Series S, like their smaller unit, it feels like there's a lot of different upgrades and memory stuff and different bundles and things like that, and it feels a little bit more accessible in my opinion. Yeah, maybe it's because the Xbox isn't as in demand, but then again, they came out with the get-go with the Series S, so who knows? It doesn't feel like Microsoft's gonna drop the Series X right now just to make a mid-console generation variation. That's why I guess they came out and exposed the PS5 Slim from coming out. I don't know. I feel that right now Sony feels fixated on blockbuster exclusives, and they're just not coming out enough. Like, Sony's power used to be their exclusive titles, and I feel that there's not enough incentive for a console revision at this time. And again, yeah, the gaming industry is evolving, and this console generation just feels like it just hasn't gotten off of its feet yet, in my opinion. I think even in the future, it's going to be hard to tell how console generations are going to be. Like, is it going to be the traditional way of how things were done with mid-console revisions and end-of-console lifespan revisions. I mean, remember the Wii had like the Wii Mini come out. I have no idea, but right now I feel like if a PS5 Slim was to come out, it would feel premature, little unnecessary at this moment. Personally, I'm quite satisfied with my PS5 and how it performs, how it looks, how it feels. The library's okay, honestly, but it has to be a huge upgrade if we're going to get any kind of consideration from me. Let me know what you guys think. Would you consider getting a PS5 Slim? Some of you guys might not even have a PS5 at this moment because you just felt it hasn't been worth it. I feel Sony should focus on making more games, better gaming experiences right now than giving us a new game machine to play on at this moment. So let me know your thoughts, guys, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you for watching.